y'all. This is Dee.
And this is Shelby. And we're from Bitch Please.
Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 28.
28. She said it with her chest.
I said it was my chest.
With the whole chest.
The whole chest. All of it. Every piece.
Every piece.
With the hair and everything.
Girl. Moving on.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode with us, guys.
Hello.
We are here. If you can tell by our outfits, the Our Own Monsters, the bucket hat, you know, we're in our 90s.
In the 90s vibe. The whole 90s vibe today.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The 90s.
The 90s. It's 90s themed.
Yes, it is.
So we actually ended up going out. No, we just ended up going out last night to a 90s theme, and we wanted to do a whole 90s theme episode. So we were like, fuck it. Let's just do it.
We had some extra clothes, so.
Yeah. Said, why not? Which is wild because, like, the 90s is basically, like, back.
As far as fashion.
The whole fashion.
Yeah.
Which is my jam because...
Me too.
I've been living in the 90s since the 90s, so...
I'm in a time warp.
Yeah. It's crazy cool.
Yeah. So before we get started, how are y'all screws?
They're pretty good today.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
Okay.
I'm chilling. It was a good day.
Yeah.
Didn't do much of anything.
Yes.
Literally didn't do much of anything.
Love that.
So good. Yeah. It's been chill. How are your screws today?
My screws are cool. Yeah, my screws are cool. Today was a chill day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does it feel like we haven't recorded in like a long time?
It does feel that way, but we literally just put an episode out last week.
I know.
But I don't know why it feels like that.
It feels like I haven't recorded in like weeks.
I know, and it's really weird.
I don't like it.
I don't either, because I was like, did we skip a week?
I know. That's what I was thinking too. And then when we sat down and we started recording, I was like, damn, I love recording. And I was like, damn, I've missed recording. Like, when did we do this last
week?
Damn. Well, last week's episode was all over the place.
Yeah, it was.
So
yeah, it was all
it'd be
over
what
the
it
place.
be.
But yeah. So the 90s.
The 90s.
We want to do fashion, TV shows, cartoons. We want to start.
I mean, we can start with fashion, considering that's what we're wearing.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with 90s fashion.
90s fashion, you guys.
90s fashion was special.
It was special. And it was like, and then you have to think about too, like, that fashion was also like tailored to people who had no figure. Like in the 90s, you had to be stick figure skin.
Yep.
Thin. Stick figure thin. What? Anyways, you had to be super fucking thin, and it basically looked like a whole boy.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, it was very androgynous, which was dope. Like, I loved it, but also, it's just not where I'm at.
I liked 90s fashion because all the clothes that I was wearing at that time were just kind of like bigger, which was cool for me. Like, we had a brief period where it was like the early 90s where I was wearing like, you know, cutesy little things, but I was little.
Yeah.
But as I got older, it was like Jinko jeans, Bugle Boy, like stuff like that. So
hell yeah.
A good time.
Hell yeah. I loved wearing the chokers. Always had a choker on.
The only thing I didn't care for was the what are those? What is the material called?
The windbreakers.
Thank
I
you
loved
for knowing
those.
That.
I knew it. The moment the sound hit my ears, I was like, windbreaker.
So those jackets, cool. But like, man, they made so much noise.
Yeah.
And like, depending on the type of windbreaker you had, if it had the lining in it, that bad boy was going to stick to you.
Hell yes, it was going to stick.
Girl.
It was like wearing a poncho.
Yeah, it was.
And you would sweat.
Yeah, you would.
And it would stick.
Yep. And all the time, like for that period of time, we were in Arizona, and then we were in New Mexico for a little bit.
Damn.
Both hot ass places.
I was here in Florida.
Oh, which is another hot ass place.
Yeah, hot ass places.
So
Miami specifically, but yeah.
Yeah, so very hot.
Yeah.
But good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
I thought the fashion was always cool, though. I mean, I've literally been living in the 90s with fashion.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I don't know. That's not true. I kind of dressed like an old lady for a little bit in my 20s, but it was still like 90s old lady.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like the big oversized with the big ass pants.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, same.
Hell yeah. Loved it.
Yeah. It was a kind of a weird thing because I feel like, you know, 90s fashion I felt had like groups. Like you had like your grunge 90s, you had your like preppy clueless type of 90s, you also had your hip hop 90s. So it just kind of depended on like where you sat in that time.
Hell yeah. And there were feathers on everything.
Everything. Feathers, rhinestones, rips.
Yeah. Definitely rips.
Neon colors.
Ooh, pleather. Pleather was a huge thing. Huge thing. Velvet.
What was the velour? Was that the 90s or was that 2000s?
I think that was like late 90s.
Yeah, the velour tracksuits?
Yes. That was like late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, but honestly, same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like as the time has gone, like there's little things from each like time period that still kind of carries over. So like with the 90s, I felt like what carried over was the neon colors from the 80s.
Yeah.
Carried over from the 80s, and that was still part of the 90s fashion.
Well, I feel like a lot of the 90s fashion was very mute, like maroons, browns, blacks, like corduroy, you know, shit like that.
I had a corduroy skirt when I was little, and it was like a maroon color. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite.
I loved corduroy, and then plaid. Plaid was a huge thing. I had a plaid skirt. I had a plaid skirt.
I had a black and white plaid one.
Mine was like blue, red, and yellow or something like that.
I remember that color palette.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
That is the one that I had.
That is so funny.
That's the one that I had, and I used to rock that shit like crazy.
Yeah, you had to. You had no choice.
Hell yeah.
You had no choice. So, what is one thing? Well, I can't even say what is one thing because everything has kind of come back again since we're in that same fashion now, which is great.
Yeah.
What is one thing that will always be a staple in your clothing from the 90s?
Honestly, tube tops and halter tops.
Ooh, yeah.
Always going to be a staple for me. Always going to wear them.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That and flannel.
Yes.
And flannel.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Fishnets.
Hell yeah.
And oversized pants.
Hell yes.
That will always be in my wardrobe somewhere.
Yeah.
I have so many things that are fishnet, it's ridiculous. But like particularly fishnet like leggings or tights or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
So
no, it was crazy because like when we went shopping, because like we were like, I was looking for cargo shorts or I was looking for cargo pants. And when we went shopping, I was like, everything is 90s.
The one store, I don't remember what store it was. All of the pants were cargo pants.
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird.
I think it was Forever 21.
Forever 21.
I attempted to shop at Forever 21. Your girl can't. I just don't fit. The largest size don't fit me. My thighs are a little bit too big for Forever 21, which is cool. It's cool. I'm not mad about it. A little mad about it, but it's fine. But no, everything in there was fucking cargo pants, cargo shorts, big Jenko jeans. Like obviously not actual Jenko jeans, but you know what I mean. Like they looked like it, and I was like, wow, the night platform sandals,
which is that's my other.
Love that shit.
I love me a platform shoe.
Hell yeah.
I don't care I don't care what it is. I'm gonna wear it.
Yes,
I'm gonna wear it.
I love it.
I like being a little bit higher up from the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing platforms.
Love it.
And anyway, and combat boots.
Combat
boots will always be in I have white, black. I'm always going to wear combat boots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the 90s it was just an amazing time for,
it was a good
fashion.
It was. I liked it.
I feel like the 80s was absolute train wreck. And then the 90s came in with like some cool shit. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
The shoulder pads went away.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Them shoulder pads were intense.
Yeah, they were.
God, they were intense.
Yeah, they were.
But I think my favorite part of the 90s was the music.
The music, I feel like no music has matched that. I know a lot of the stuff that they're making nowadays, because everything's kind of cycling through again, is reminiscent of the 90s. So there's a lot of sampling from the 90s, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it also like makes my heart a little sad because those songs are still fire.
Yes.
So it's like,
so like it's crazy because I'll be in the car. I don't really listen to the radio, but like I'll play like a playlist off of Spotify or whatever, and then like some new song will come on and like the intro will sound like a fucking 90s song, and I'm like, yes, oh my God, I remember this song, and then it's something else.
Yeah. And you're like, what?
Super disappointing.
Yeah. Like who?
So disappointing. And it's not even good. It's like the song is not even good.
Yeah.
So it's upsetting. It's like you just fucking wrecked a 90s. Anyways, sorry. I'm getting on my soapbox about music. But yeah, I mean, it was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Was the music.
It's so funny. So my music selection in the 90s was all over the place.
Yeah.
Because I listened to Blackstreet.
Hell yeah.
But I also listened to Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Yeah. But then I also listened to like Alanis Morissette.
Hell yeah.
Like, I just had like a bunch of random things that I listened to.
Hell yeah.
And just a good time for music.
Yeah.
Like, I know people will have this argument about what decade had the better music. I still think to this day, 90s had it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I listen to a lot of, because my mom, a Latin freestyle. Yeah.
Okay.
So like Stevie B and like Coral, and I don't know if you know any of them, but like they were playing it last night, and I was like, yes, spring love.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, I know the song.
Yeah. I was like, you're gonna know it.
Yeah.
But shit like that, like I listened to a lot of that. I listened to Alanis Morissette. I was into
Metallica too.
Metallica was the shit.
Yeah.
I listened to like all sorts of stuff in the 90s.
Yeah,
like,
same. I felt like the 90s was a good time to just listen to like whatever. Like you could listen to a bunch of different genres and it wasn't really like weird.
Yeah.
Because all of it was mixed at the time. It was the radio. So it was all mixed together on the radio. They didn't have like a hip hop station or a R&B station or a rock station. It was just all together.
It was just all together.
If it was top 40, it was top 40.
It was top 40.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So I think that was what was really cool about it. I feel like as time kind of went on, like as you got into the 2000s, like depending on where you were in life.
Yeah.
You had like a select type of music that you listened to.
Yeah.
So
which was never my thing.
Me either.
But I've always listened to all different types
too.
The only shit I don't really listen to is country.
Yeah.
Not a big country fan.
Yeah, I'm not a huge country fan, but I'm not gonna lie, like
go ahead and shout it out.
Garth Brooks. No, this isn't from the 90s though. Garth Brooks, I'm not gonna lie, he had me. And when he switched over to rock or whatever, I was like, okay, Garth.
I didn't even know Garth Brooks switched over to rock.
Yeah,
but I
he
did like a
his
couple.
Name and everything.
He did.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name offhand, but he changed his name to do rock. Now I kind of want to look it up. So Garth Brooks ended up changing his name to Chris Staines, which I think is his real name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. It's not his real name. It's a fictional character he created.
Oh,
but
cool.
that's who he used the pseudonym for his other style of music.
That's crazy. I love that.
I loved him, even though I didn't really like country like that. But he had me.
It was not. He did.
Yeah.
What is that song? Lightning Strikes or Thunder Rolls? Anyways, that's the only song I think I know from him.
I'm trying to think how it goes.
When thunder rolls, cut this part out. And the lightning strikes. No, leave it in. Now it's funny. It's a good time. It's a good time. But yeah, no, I've never been into the country scene that much, except for what my mom had. But the R&B?
Oh, the R&B in the 90s was different.
90s R&B? Oh my God, that was soulful. That was like real deep.
That was like, they was in love, but it was like, if you listen to it now, you're like, that's illegal.
Yeah, 100%.
You were stalking?
You were what
you were saying?
Yeah.
And they had a whole choreographed routine to you stalking?
Yeah. The whole thing. In the rain?
In the rain?
In the rain. It was in the rain. Always in the rain. Always. There was always some guy doing this.
Yeah. With his shirt open with no shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Singing his little heart out. Doing his little dances next to the girl.
And
she's just walking
just ignoring him. No. Thank you. Love the 90s R&B. It was good. Yeah. Also, Celine Dion.
Celine, listen.
Slaps. Every time I listen to her, it's my shit. It's my shit.
That lady... I remember being a kid. This is when obviously Titanic came out.
Yeah, of course, because you were obsessed. So you had to know. Yeah.
My Heart Will Go On.
Yes.
There is a cassette tape somewhere of me singing that song in the mall.
Yes. On a record,
they had these little karaoke studios in the mall in Arizona, and they would record you singing. Yeah. And they had like a prompter and everything like that, and then they would record it, give you the cassette tape, and send you on your way. Yeah. And I still have that cassette tape of me singing my little heart out to My Heart Will Go On. No fucking
lie. You know what I have? I have a fucking we're gonna talk about this too because this is a little segue, but I have a video of me in Blockbuster.
Oh, Blockbuster!
Because Blockbuster used to make these little VHSs, and for those who don't know what a VHS is,
I don't know
what it stands for, but it's old as shit, and it looks like a giant cassette tape.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it looks like a giant.
But they used to do the recordings, and then they would send you home with the VHS. And so I have a little video of me in the 90s in my little lamb chop outfit. Oh. Yeah. Just answering some questions and saying hi to people on a video.
That is so cute.
I have it somewhere. I actually want to try to convert it into a DVD. But they used to have that shit everywhere. Yeah. You could do stuff like that all over the place.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't really exist anymore.
No, you know what, though? Because you said the mall. I was thinking of, I don't know if you had a lot of this occur, especially like late 90s. But the people who would be in the mall and be like, do you want a model? You could be a model.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were fucking everywhere.
Yeah, they were everywhere, which was so weird because where did they go?
And they were, I don't know.
Like, where did they go? Were they actually modeling people?
Were they modeling people?
Like-
Because there was a pretty big issue with that. But coming up to me as a little kid and being like, you would be such a cute model. And
They got me.
They
I'm
did.
not gonna lie, they got
did.
me. Because I begged my parents. I guess it wasn't really in the 90s, though. That was probably in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Where I really started being like, I want a model.
Yeah.
But people at the mall.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You remember Glamour Shots?
Yes. Yes, I do remember Glamour Shots.
What a time.
What a time.
Everybody has a Glamour Shot somewhere.
We should throw up a couple Glamour.
Everybody had the super, like, blurred out.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah. Hell yeah, sparkles in the back.
Sparkles in the back.
Oh my
gosh.
Mm-mm.
So, you brought up Blockbuster.
Yeah.
What a time.
What a time.
I miss going to Blockbuster.
Yep.
I loved Blockbuster. Streaming's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's enjoyable. You don't have to worry about going out of
Yeah,
your
for
house.
sure.
But Blockbuster experience was just something to enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
that was like a big thing. Like, okay, we're going to go to Blockbuster on Friday night. We're going to get us a couple of tapes.
Hell yeah.
And then, you know, you're going to have a good night. You could get you some popcorn there.
Hell yeah.
They started doing games for a little bit.
Yeah, they have candy. They had all sorts. I used to beg my mom. I would be like, please.
And they were like the big, like the movie theater candies.
Oh, it was cool as fuck. And the Blockbuster that we always went to had like the big popcorn bowls.
Yeah.
Where you can just throw the whole bowl in the microwave. Yep. Oh my God, it was so dope.
It was, and that popcorn was good.
It was so fucking good.
It literally tasted like theater popcorn.
It did.
It was great.
It did.
It was great.
You go in, you peruse a little bit.
Yeah.
You walk around, like the same shit you do at home and you're scrolling and you're looking through. But you get to do this like standing up and like walking around. It was such an experience. In person. It was such an experience.
What a time.
What a time.
One of my favorite things was just getting the tapes, but you always had to like rewind them bad boys back.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I watched one of my tapes so much that it like wouldn't rewind anymore.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. I did that with a lot of my movies.
Yeah.
I had a lot of Disney movies on VHS.
I did too.
So Oliver and Company, I fucked that one up pretty bad.
Yeah. Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book 2.
Jungle Book. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, what a movie.
I still cry. I still cry in that movie. I'm such a little bitch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm such a baby.
You know, and I forgot to mention this when we were talking about music, but did you record from the radio onto a cassette tape so you can make your own mix?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What a time.
Hell yes, I did. Hell yeah, I did. I fucking recorded. So I actually recorded over Will Smith's cassette tape that I had. His first one. And I was like, I loved it. But then I was like, I'm tired of this. And so I just started recording it from the radio.
Yeah.
And I just had like all mixes and stuff.
Yeah. The thing about recording from the radio is, especially if you were recording over something.
Exactly.
If you didn't get it right on,
you
would have whatever song you recorded, whatever song was still left over, and then you might have another song that starts in the middle. But you can't. So the thing with recording from the radio was you would have to really like pay attention.
Yes.
So you could hit record real quick when the song first started, because if not, you was going to catch half the song.
Exactly.
So it was like you might have had a song halfway through because
I did.
I did too.
My shit was weird.
Yeah.
It was like half a song of like the end of the first, like the end of the half a song, and then at the beginning of the other song, but then it went into a new song, and then it was like, you know, it was a whole vibe.
It was a whole vibe.
I was a little DJ.
I loved it.
It was so cool.
It was really cool.
It was so cool. And then like being a little more nostalgic was like gaming. Gaming. I had the old school, and I had this for a long time. I sold it when I was doing drugs, which was stupid, but I had an original Game Boy.
Oh, I did too.
OG first gen original Game Boy. No color, no nothing.
Yeah, mine was it just looked like a big ass block.
It was
like
a brick. It was a big brick.
That bad, but with a tiny ass screen.
Yeah.
But it was like this no color, just straight game.
Straight game.
And, I had one that had like the plastic case that you could put the Game Boy on one side, you could put a couple of games, and on the other side and maybe like a battery or something, and it was just a big plastic case, and I would just take that everywhere.
Hell yeah.
I loved my Game Boy.
Hell yeah.
I also had a Sega, and I had a Nintendo, and I had a Sega.
I had a Sega and a Sega Genesis.
That's where I fell in love with Mortal Kombat.
Yes, bitch. I used to play Mortal Kombat and Sonic on Sega all the fucking time.
Yes.
On repeat. Like,
that was my shit.
I was always in trouble. My mom would be like, get off the game. And I'm like, no, just one more.
Yep. There were so many good games.
A Nintendo with Mario.
Bro. And what was it? Deer hunting.
Oh yeah. Duck.
Duck hunting.
It was duck hunting. It was duck hunting.
Right. That was a funny game.
That was a funny game.
The graphics, it's so funny because the graphics for the time was like super cool.
Yeah.
Now, looking back, you're like, damn, those graphics were trash.
They were so bad. Like, I played the original Doom when the first Doom came out on PC. This is when I was trying to dabble in PC. I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. Whatever. But it's like, I look back now because like you can go watch videos of it, and it was like the worst.
Yeah, it was super pixelated.
Oh my god, super
crazy.
Pixelated, very slow.
Very slow.
So like kids complain about lagging today. Like my guy took 10 minutes to get like,
2 feet.
2 feet. Like,
that's facts.
And the little monsters would pop out to shoot, and they would move like this to come get you.
But as a kid, you're like, oh my god,
it's coming my way. Like, oh my god, I used to play that for hours. Yeah, I miss old. I really wish we still had the Sega. I actually bought a Nintendo, like, it's a console, but it wasn't like an original one. Yeah.
It was one that was kind of remade with a bunch of the games loaded on it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play it, and I was over it.
Yeah.
I was over it very quickly. I don't think I played it since.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, yeah, I have it in the drawer somewhere. Like, I was like, I'm going to plug it up, and I'm going to try it again. But I tried it, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, that makes sense. I get that.
Did you ever have Pogs?
I did have Pogs.
I had so many Pogs and Slammers.
Uh-huh.
I had a really nice skull head.
Did you
slammer.
really?
It was like super thick and it was clear, but the skull like hovered in between.
Yeah.
And then I had a bunch of Pogs, and I had a little Pog case.
Yeah.
I could put them all in.
Yeah, I had Pogs, girl.
Yeah.
I don't think I had them all fancied out like the way you are describing them, but I definitely had Pogs, and I played with them.
I did too. I loved Pogs.
And I loved oh my god, Jacks.
Like the pickup jacks?
Yeah, the pickup jacks.
Yes. I used to play those at that just gave me a memory. When I went to go visit my grandma in Texas.
God damn, we're old.
Girl.
I just said Jacks. Like, no kid plays with that shit today.
No.
God.
But I remember being at my grandma's in Texas, and I had Jacks, and I would just play with them on the floor. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, this is so funny.
Or pickup sticks.
Or pickup stick. Oh, you remember they had the colorful ones?
Yes.
Oh, or what was the monkey one? Barrel of Monkeys?
Oh, yeah. Barrel of Monkeys. That was fun.
That was a time.
That was a time.
As well.
And a skip it?
I wanted to skip it so bad.
Love
so bad. But I also wasn't I wouldn't like clean my room.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my stuff got thrown away because I wasn't cleaning up. And I was told that it was going to happen. And I was like, I guess I was just testing the theory.
Yeah.
Stuff got thrown out.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff I ended up not having anymore because I wasn't shit.
Yeah.
But I was a kid,
I mean, most of the time, whatever was thrown away, I didn't even remember it because...
At all.
Because I had like a whole bucket full of shit.
Yeah.
And because me and my sister, we shared a room. So it was just...
Yeah.
I was like, if it wasn't something I was using every day, I didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
But the fucking skip it...
I wanted that thing so bad.
That thing was great until it hit you in the ankle, and then it felt like your whole leg just shattered.
That thing was heavy.
Oh my god, did it fucking hurt, man. I used to come home with bruises because I would just stay outside playing with my little skip it all day.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I had friends that had it, so I would go to their house and I'd just be like, can we play skip it?
Yeah.
Like, I actually really miss that time because we were outside a lot. I
was just thinking that.
Yeah, you would just go outside and play with people, and you would literally be gone all day as long as you came back before the street lights came on.
Exactly.
And then that was it. Like, you would go play manhunt and
like,
tag or whatever. You make up stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, it was such a good time. And I'm sure it was dangerous, but you didn't really have to worry about you did have to worry about getting taken, but depending on the area that you're in, you're probably going to be like a little bit more okay than not.
Yeah.
Especially if it was in like a little neighborhood where there's a bunch of kids.
Absolutely.
So that was something that I really enjoyed as well.
That's the thing. Like, 90s was before internet. 90s was before dial-up. At least like in everybody's home. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't I don't think we got dial-up until maybe early 2000s.
I think we got dial-up probably late 90s going into the 2000s. but it was at the tail end.
Yeah, but like I still didn't use it like that. I was outside. I was playing with Pokemon cards, and
there wasn't really a whole lot to do on them at the time.
No, girl, I was jumping off roofs. I was at friends' houses. Like, I was outside playing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like
just doing kid shit.
Yeah.
Like, and being a whole child.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a brief, time for me, but it was, I got to be like a whole child for a little bit, so it was cool. And now kids, you just put a fucking tablet in front of them and they just sit there and they're chill, and I'm like, no, man, you need to be outside. You need to be outside and go play. Like, go be with your friends. Put the phone down. I mean, same with us as adults, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I'm getting on my soapbox.
No, it's okay.
Same with us as adults, though. But it's like, we got to get the fuck off our phones, man. Because we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have cell phones like that.
The way that I communicated with my parents when I was a kid was through walkie-talkie.
That's fucking funny.
We did, because there wasn't any way to communicate, and they were like, well, we got to make sure we know where you're at somehow.
Yeah.
But after a certain range, you can't talk anyway.
You can't talk anyway. Yeah. So if you got a range, then they know you too far from the house, and then you in trouble. Yeah. See, we didn't have that. We just, in the few places that we did live, like my dad's super friendly, so he would always meet everybody. And then I would always play with the kids or whatever, and it's just like everybody knew everyone.
Right.
It was like,
it
was a little community.
Yeah,
and now I feel like nobody talks to each other, and like everybody's, I don't know, I'm guilty of it. I don't want to talk to nobody.
I know one of my neighbors.
Okay, so it's bad. I know my neighbors next door. They're very nice people. I cannot remember their names. None of their names. Cannot fucking for the life of me remember their names.
Yeah.
I always say hi.
Yeah.
They always say hi.
Yeah.
But we don't really chat like that.
Times are different.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. I know we talked about this earlier, and I remember you talking about it, but since we didn't talk about it with them, let's share it. There was a time in the 90s where at certain schools they were taking kids' fingerprints and locks of hair. I don't think they did locks of hair at my school, but I do remember us getting printed and getting like little ID cards and things like that because kids were going missing. Yeah. And they had no way to figure out where they were.
That's because we was able to stay outside.
We were outside. And I actually watched a documentary recently, and I just found out why that even started, because there was a bunch of girls missing in Texas. Yeah. And that's how they ended up starting keeping track of them. And I think it just kind of trickled out to other states. Yeah. Because they definitely did that at our school.
That's crazy. I never had that done. But Florida also didn't give a fuck about their kids.
Girl, Florida wild anyway.
So they just like, we don't care. You'll be fine. Go outside. Go play with the gators.
Did you guys do the scoliosis checks in school?
Oh, yes. All the time. I have it.
I did. So I remember as a kid, by the time that we were doing scoliosis checks, I was already in a back brace. Yeah. So we would do it, and I was like, we caught it. Yeah. We're aware.
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're aware.
Yeah. We don't
appreciate it.
Yeah. Always. And it was scoliosis checks, lice checks.
Do you remember the fluoride? No. You didn't have to do. So they used to do this thing at the schools where you would switch with wash for your teeth. They did a bunch of weird shit in Arizona and New Mexico too, where you would switch with a fluoride for your teeth. It was like part of the health stuff, and clean your teeth out. It was like along with your scoliosis checks and your other stuff. Like,
no,
that's
girl,
what we did
I
at
did
school.
That shit. No, we had bomb threats. Like we had like bomb, like what we would just, practice that and hiding underneath. But that was it. Fire drills. Yeah. Lice checks. Scoliosis check.
You know what's so funny? And it just goes to show you about times. Yeah. They didn't do lice checks on black kids. Ooh. I mean, there was only like 2 of us, but like they didn't do them at this one of the schools that I went to because they.
Why? Because they just thought y'all was immune.
Well, they just went off of old thoughts of like, well, you have oily hair, so they're not going to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think that you're.
I was like, that's fine. I don't want y'all touching my hair no way. Like, my mom worked hard on this.
Racist. God damn. But I mean, and like that was pretty, I don't know, that was pretty prevalent in the 90s. Yeah. Whether people realize it or not. Which kind of leads me to Freaknik.
Freaknik.
Now, I know Freaknik started in the 80s. But it was really happening in the 90s.
It had changed a lot. Yeah. But it was.
Yeah. And we watched the Freaknik documentary off of Hulu, which you can go see it. I'm pretty sure Hulu still has it. Yeah. But that is a fucking story, bro.
Yeah. It is. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, lots of spoilers.
The Freaknik documentary, or was it no, it was a documentary.
It was a documentary.
It was really nice to see it, but it was also kind of sad to see it.
It was really sad.
Because to see how it originated and to see what it ended up becoming.
Yeah.
And now what they're trying to get it back to is just like...
Yeah. I know, but the amount of women who were sexually assaulted during that time is crazy. I mean, it started off this beautiful thing of like
college kids
coming together and having nothing to do for fucking spring break, right? Or was it spring break or summer?
It was one of the breaks.
One of the breaks. It was either spring break or summer. And it was just them coming together and doing a barbecue. That's literally what it was. And then after years, it became crazy. Atlanta was crazy. Completely different. Yeah. Like, Peach Street was closed down all the time. I mean, it was just...
performers. They were getting sponsorships. They were getting things left and right. But it also... less clothing started to be there.
Oh, yeah.
More people were more handsy and things were
because
getting
people
crazy.
were coming from everywhere. Because originally it was just supposed to be for...
that particular
the colleges.
School.
Yeah, the colleges that were there that were coming together. And then all of a sudden, 3 years in... people were coming from Texas, California, New York. I mean, all over the fucking place. They were coming from everywhere to go to Freaknik.
And it was cool because it actually was, like you were saying, it was mostly college students.
Yeah.
And then once everybody else started coming, it was just people that were of some type of age to go.
So, and people were getting wild. I mean, titties were out, which cool. Love when titties are out. But also, like... I mean, some of the women that were being sexually assaulted and grabbed and groped and, like, in public. This is in broad daylight. This isn't like no shady shit down an alley. Like, this was happening in broad daylight to a lot of these women. And it just went from, like, this really beautiful community, wholesome thing to, like, wild.
I think the thing that made me a little sad about seeing the Freaknik documentary was seeing the people who started it.
Yeah.
And being like, we never expected it to get like this.
To get like
ever.
that. Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's really sad.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I feel, and I don't know this to be completely true, but I just feel that Freaknik actually kind of paved the way for a lot of different events that they have now.
I think so.
Which, so there's something called Atlanta Greek Picnic, which is like Greek. It's just a bunch of Black Greek organizations that come together and just hang out.
Yeah.
For like one weekend. It's just a good time. You got stuff like that. You got like Afro punk that is like a thing that, you have South by Southwest. You got like just different things like that, which is really cool. We got for my particular sorority and fraternity that you have, Blue and White Weekend and things like that. So it's cool to see like some of the stuff that I don't know if it necessarily came from it, but just as time went on, it came to be something that kind of resembled that. So
I do like that. It kind of led the way for different events. Yeah, I just wish it had been. I don't know. I wish it would have gone differently.
But to be honest, that happens with any type of events. I know with certain ones that even I've been to, it started out one way and it has changed a lot. Yeah. And, that's always a thing. Yep. I don't know what it is about it being hot outside and you wanted to wear shorts or whatever that people are like, well, that's free ass I can touch or that's free titties I can grab. And it's like, no.
Please don't.
It's just hot as fuck outside.
I'm just really getting tired of people touching me without permission.
Speaking of, last night.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I'm not going to get into it because it has nothing to do with the 90s.
Okay. Just not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan. One of the things that they kind of mentioned in the documentary was that they are trying to make Freaknik kind of back to what it was. More of a, I don't want to say wholesome, but more of a, not as rapey. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean, people still wild out.
Yeah, people are going to wild out. It doesn't matter where you go. As long as you have groups of people where there's alcohol and drugs and all that, this stuff is going to happen.
Stuff is definitely going to happen.
But they had people who were trying to bring back the name Freaknik back and try to do some of the things that they did before. I don't know what has happened with that because I haven't heard anything about it.
It's still going on. There was one that just happened, I think, this year in Atlanta. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's still going on. It wasn't like numbers weren't crazy, but it was still going on.
I would have loved to have been a young adult in the 90s, like in my later teens or like college years in the 90s. That would have been dope. Yeah, that would have been super dope.
See, like I think it would have been like the idea of it would have been cool, but I mean, we also got to talk about like how the 80s and the 90s like it was pretty big with AIDS and STDs and
there's
stuff
a lot
like
of
that,
stuff,
you know. But it's just like I don't know. I feel like I love the 90s and what it was, especially like as a kid. I don't know if I'd go back as an adult.
I would like to, like, if I could go back for a day or two, I would like to go to
for a day or two, hell yeah.
Like, I don't want to necessarily be there like all the time. Obviously, you can't do that. But like, if I could have gone to a party as a young adult, I would have loved to do that. Because some of the stuff that you hear about, because it has changed so much. Yeah. We'll never get that same experience ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Even
that's
with
true.
them bringing back Freaknik, it's never going to be what it was.
See, I thought you were being like, I wish you could have lived as a young adult in the 90s.
Yes, lived like to go to stuff, but not like I'm grateful for the time that we, like, even though we grew up in the 90s, like, we didn't really experience a lot of stuff until the 2000s. Yeah. Which I'm grateful for because a lot of stuff changed. Yeah. I'm glad that we got to experience stuff without computers and things like that for a little bit, and then kind of got hit into the technological era. Yeah. I think it would have been I don't even know if it would have been a harder adjustment if I was older back then. Yeah. But yeah, I'm grateful kind of for where.
Yeah, because women had like no rights.
I mean, we don't really.
We still don't really have like many rights, but like back then it was like
I don't see a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I see somewhat of a difference. It's a little more subtle now. I mean, it's starting to get bad again. Girl. You know, we just never had any rights in the first place. We're second-rate citizens here. It's cool. People get to tell me what I can do with my body on a daily basis. Yeah, I love it. It's so good.
It's wild.
The music was amazing. The festivals, Freaknik, all of that was amazing. I loved the TV shows. The wholesome TV shows. Family Matters. Bro, still cry.
Family Matters still was cry. So good. First of all, I feel like, okay, TV shows were great. They were the truth. Like, we had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We had Living Single. We had In Living Color. Living Color was my shit. What's the other one? You remember Mad TV?
I do remember Mad TV. See, like, I didn't grow up with SNL. Everybody always talks about SNL. I never watched SNL. We watched Mad TV and we watched In Living Color. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what we watched in our house. Mm-hmm. So it was like, but that was the best. Mm-hmm. Like, that was the fucking best. Mm-hmm. Like, it was so good.
When MTV was actually music. Yeah. It was great. You could see whole music videos. And then they had like the little, this is probably the latter end of the 90s, had the pop-up video. Yep. And they had all like the video. Yeah. They had like the different just background details about either the artist or like how they created the video. That was VH1, BET. Before reality TV really like got going, like there was actual music on TV,
videos
on those channels, and then it became. There was a weird period where it was like MTV had a bunch of dating shows. Oh yeah, I remember that. I love those dating shows though.
Yes, I did too. What was Love with Brett Michaels? That wasn't the 90s though. That was the 2000s. Yeah, that was more the 2000s.
Because that's when the Flavor of Love and all those came out.
And all of those.
There was what was it? It was Jenny McCarthy used to host it. I can't remember the name of it. It was like, I just remember the scene of it. It was like a big wraparound thing, and like people would walk through and they would talk to them and try to get them on a date, but I can't remember the name of it to save my life.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I cannot think of it. But they had those shows that was pretty cool. Yeah. Nickelodeon was on fire.
Nickelodeon. Oh my God. Nick at Night. Yeah. Bro, Nick at Night was my shit.
Yeah, Nick at Night was my shit too.
I loved that because it played a lot of like the older reruns and stuff like that, and loved that. Golden Girls, my jam.
Golden Girls. I loved a lot of the cartoons were so good. Like they had Hey Arnold was fire.
Hey Arnold was the shit.
Soundtrack
Rugrats
is amazing. Rugrats. I like Doug.
Aro
Monsters.
That was my shit.
Banging on a trash can, drumming on the street lights. I
cannot with you. And then what was her name? Daria.
So I just saw a post yesterday, which actually hurt my heart. Really? So it was a picture of Daria, Jane, Trent, and Quinn sitting at a table, and it's like Daria and Jane would be 41, Trent would be 47, and Quinn would be 39.
Stop.
I was like, what?
Fuck. Yeah. Are we there? Yeah. God, I just felt real alone.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw this show. This might actually been in the 2000s. But the show was a little bit older. It was called It had Claire Danes. It had Jared Leto. My Strange Life. Was it My Strange Life or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a show that I used to watch a lot too. But my Disney Channel 2 was popping back in the 90s, and nobody ever remembers what I'm talking about. So now I'm thinking I'm crazy because I have not met anybody who ever knows what I'm talking about. But Disney Channel had a thing called Zoog Disney.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes.
Ugh. And they had like all the concerts.
ZOG?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they had all the concert shows and stuff like that. Like I found out about new artists that way. Like I was obsessed with this. I think they were an Irish group.
Yeah.
Bewitched.
Yeah.
I fucking love them. And I watched them on Disney, on the Zoog Disney concert thing.
Yeah.
That was really dope. I got to see, I don't know if that was Disney though. I think that might have been Nickelodeon. That had like Hey Dude.
Oh yeah.
And they had, Double Dare,
and
Wild and Crazy Kids, and stuff like that. That was like a really cool time. Wild and Crazy Kids, I think, was really dope because it showed kids playing outside.
Yeah, it did.
Like they were doing activities together outside.
It did. And then the Nickelodeon studio where they did like the slime and stuff like that.
And they had all those shows.
Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, bitch.
Yes. Yep. That was the shit. I mean, back then it was just so simple.
So simple.
So simple.
But we also were children, so it's like there wasn't too much to really...
Yeah, I'm sure everything else in the world was burning down like it is now, but...
Yeah, in my head, the world was perfect.
It was chill.
Yeah.
I was having a good time.
For the most part. Stuff was happening, but
yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was like...
I was outside running around, skinning up my knees and coming back inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people have that one...
Oh, hell yeah, I have one scar that's like right here.
We all got that.
I have one big ass scar that's on my knee right here.
That is a generational... badge of honor.
Badge of honor.
If you have this little thing on your knee, which you can't see, and I'm not lifting my knee up that high, but
I don't think I can even lift my knee up that high.
I'm not doing it because I'm gonna roll over.
Right.
But everybody has that badge of honor from playing outside, falling in the ditch, playing touch.
This was from rollerblading.
Yeah.
This was from rollerblading.
I fell in a
tore
hole,
my shit up.
Playing football.
I love that. Oh my God, to be young and limber, like the idea of me falling in a hole.
Girl,
right now.
I slipped on some water the other day and I was like, my knee
really
still hurts.
You really did.
It still hurts.
Oh God. Oh, it was so bad. Oh my God. I miss that. I miss those times though. Like the chill times. I wish I could see kids doing that today. Like
I think
actually being
cool.
outside and playing and stuff like that and like doing their thing. I mean, in my neighborhood, I actually see a lot of kids running around outside, but I'm also not in like a very like, you know, upper class neighborhood, so I'm sure kids don't have a bunch of iPads and you know what I mean and shit to play with, so they outside running and playing basketball all the time. I love to see it.
I think it's cool though because even you do see kids playing now and it has its like it has its things where you have kids playing with technology, which is cool because they're getting extra knowledge or kind of being excuse me. So school in the 90s was really cool because we had typing classes because everybody wanted to learn how to use these new things called computers, and they wanted to make sure that the youth were able to move with the times.
You're such a fucking nerd because I hated that class.
I love typing
hated
classes.
That class.
Playing Oregon Trail?
Oh.
What?
I hated that class.
Oh, I loved it. I would be in there. That's why I type as fast as I do now.
Yeah.
Because I was in there just... They was like, you're doing really good. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
They was actually setting me up to go work a desk job somewhere.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. They were trying to get us all to...
be great for society.
Great for society.
But I miss those times, those really cool computer games that were... I mean, I know there's really cool computer games now, but it was just... Oregon Trail was a legend, is a legend. Forever and always will be...
Forever and always.
Forever and always will be that
Forever
girl.
and always.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about schools. I just realized I never finished my thought from the before your earring fell out.
Oh, what was your saying?
I was trying to say I think it's cool that the kids are being more educated on the technology because they're able to think about things that maybe we didn't think about because it didn't exist for a period of time. So the thought of it being where it's at now, a bunch of us could not see that.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that they are kind of being able to explore that, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's also like, go outside.
Yeah, go outside. I mean, I think it needs to be like a healthy balance of it. Like these iPad kids where you just shove them in front of a TV or an iPad and you're like, here you go. Like, just go be quiet and watch your TV. You know, it's like, no, like they need to go outside. They need to run around. They need to get their energy out like they're children, you know, let them scrape their knees up, let them fall off shit and get hurt. They're going to be fine. They bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I remember being a kid and jumping up on, it was a bench, but it was made out of concrete.
Yeah.
Safety.
Obviously good thinking.
Safety
Good thinking.
at the school.
Yeah.
And I jumped up on it. This is like the day before picture day. I jumped up on it and I had my little shoes on and the lace came undone and I just right on my face. I had like marks all the way up here and I had pictures with this mark and a finger wave because my mom is a beautician and she did finger waves in my little 3rd grade head.
I love that.
Scraped up. They bought those pictures too.
They did. I know they did. I know they did.
It's me and my little finger waves. In my back brace.
I'm
not your you can see it was underneath, but I sat like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I don't know. I wish kids would be able to go out more and do shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
like
I agree.
It's just I don't know.
It was such a cool time, I feel. And not that this is not a cool time either. Obviously we don't have any other experience except the one that we have right now. But it was really cool. I feel like so much changed from the 90s into the 2000s because there were so many advancements made
100%
that and
it was quick.
It was very quick.
It was so fast.
If we're being honest, from when I started college, which was in 2007, I had a BlackBerry phone, and then by the time I got out of college, I think the phone I had a touchscreen on the top, and it flipped open.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll never be able to handle a touchscreen phone by itself. That's crazy. I need to have a keyboard, blah, 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 blah. Now I got an iPhone.
Yeah. How crazy is that? How great. I had a Nokia block phone.
I did too when I was in high school.
Through the majority of fucking high school. And I would change the face out through middle school because I think my mom got it for me just so that she could find out where I was. But I had to pay for the minutes. Do you remember those minute cards? Do you remember those minute cards? I had to pay for the fucking minutes. I would work, and then I would drop like $500 on just minutes.
Oh, geez.
Like just minutes because you could text, and each text was a minute.
Oh, that's right.
Like I would be able to talk to my friends and like be out and text people and do this or whatever. I mean, those minutes were like, I think a $500 was like, I think 10,000 minutes or something like that. Bro, it was like crazy how I had to do that, but I changed the face on that Nokia block phone and I fucking love that game Snake.
Oh, Snake was unmatched.
Snake was my shit. I got up to one of the high levels.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that phone.
Yeah, girl, my mom washed her Nokia whole cycle, washed it and dried it, and that bad boy still works.
Still works.
And I guarantee you, if they still have that phone, it still works to this day.
It still works to this
day. It may
day.
not get any service because it doesn't have that type of signal anymore, but I bet it'll turn on.
It'll turn on.
Like that thing was solid.
It was so solid.
It would actually last a nuclear blast.
It would. 100%. I hit people with that phone. I did. I hit some girl in the face with that phone.
That phone
so
was
sorry.
No problem. That phone was heavy.
If you're listening, I'm very sorry I did that to you. You started it though.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I mean, we didn't have like shit like that. So I didn't really have technology like that, and it came fast.
It did, and I just think about how we had Singular because this was before it was AT&T.
Yeah.
And you could talk. I mean, this was obviously later down the line, but you could talk to people on AT&T.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
But anybody that was outside of that, you had to pay per minute or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't really text like that because that wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to talk to somebody who wasn't in network, you had to wait till after 9.
Yep.
So you'd be like, hey, call me back later, or like call me after 9, or just calling before. I know when I was younger, before I had a cell phone, we were just calling each other on the house phone.
Yep.
And during that time, it was weird because we had dial up, so you might try to get on there and it's like,
Exactly.
You know? So,
and I used to sneak that house phone in my room because I wasn't allowed to use the phone at night like that, and I would hide it underneath my pillow, and I would turn off all the ringers in the house to all the house phones, and so I would wait, and if I saw it light up, I'd be like, hey, how are you? Like, and I would sneak in on the phone all the time.
I miss
talk to my little boyfriends and girlfriends.
I miss just being on the phone with my friends and like being in the bed, like, yeah, girl, because
we still do that shit now.
We do, but like we wouldn't even talk about nothing.
We don't even. Sometimes me and Deidre are just on the phone and it's quiet. We both like kiki, just laughing.
That's facts.
It's cool though. I mean, we used to be able to do that. We didn't. I mean, my life as a kid was not great, but I didn't have the worries like that.
Yeah.
You know, like how I do today. Like adult worries. You know what
the
I'm
adult
saying?
worries just weren't there. It was just a very different time.
Yeah.
And I know for me it was a little bit weird because we were like, you know, you can experience your time in one place and then it's like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But experiencing it in multiple places within a certain time period is very weird because I'm gonna just be honest. Bouncing from state to state is almost like going to a different country. Like, each
it really
state is so different,
and there's different cultures.
There is, and so you go from one area where it's like one way. Like I went from Arizona for the majority of like the 90s to New Mexico for the latter part of the 90s, and then we went overseas. Yeah, so it was just a weird culture
all over the place.
Yeah, during that period of time.
Yeah,
but the development, what we were talking about of technology and stuff being really fast, is the fact that, you know, you have these iPhones that can do the things that they can do. Yeah. You have these the fact that these phones have the cameras that they have is ridiculous, because you couldn't really you had to have a camera and you had to have a phone. Yeah. And I know back then we had the little rewind.
Yeah. The disposable ones.
And you had to go take them to like Walgreens or Walmart or wherever to get the photos developed. Yeah. You don't know if the picture came out good or not. You might have had somebody's like eyeball.
Your eyes are somewhat closed, but you're chilling.
Double exposure, maybe, depending on what happened. Yeah. You just have to wait, and that was the longest wait of your life.
Wait and see. I used to take a bunch of like disposable cameras and just like take pictures, and then I would put them all in a box. Yeah, I have. And then I would take them in, and I would have them developed. It was like maybe like $10 to have like 20 things developed. It was so cheap.
It was so cheap.
That was another thing. It was super cheap back then. Anyways, we can keep going on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, there's a lot about that time that we missed, but we just wanted to talk about it because we just wanted to talk about it. We wanted to share this with you guys. If we can find some pictures of ourselves from the 90s, we will add them onto this so you guys can enjoy with us.
Absolutely.
If you guys happen to see, you know, just comment, tell us what you liked about the 90s if you were if you're old enough to even have that type of experience. Yeah. Most of the people that listen are about our age.
I think so too. And if you have like any comments or opinions on the Freaknik documentary that if you've watched it, or if you haven't watched it, if you have questions or whatever, you know, definitely hit us up on that too. Or, you know, like Dee said, whatever cool experiences you had from the 90s.
And if you guys have pictures, send it to us.
We definitely want to see pictures.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. We will see you next time.
Yes, like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. And we are still going live. We have a set date in July. I believe it's July 11th. Is when we're going to go live. So stay tuned for that. And if that's something that you want to do, it's going to be on a Thursday, and it's going to be around Probably like 7 p.m. Details are not yet like finite, but
it'll be live stream on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes. So definitely, you know, look out for that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys. Bye.